Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be talking about all the books I have read. It's a wide variety of books that I've read. If I had to categorize my type of reading, it'd be like A24, just weird, strange, surreal type of stuff, type beat. And some comics and manga, but like that's neither here nor there. So let's get started. The House from Mr. Vilas by V.S. Naipaul. This took me a while to finish. I think I started in like mid-November and I didn't finish until late December. Spider! Hi, Spider. Hi, Spider. You can't be on my bed, though. You can't be on my bed. Ah! You move too fast for me. Thank you. Anyways, I digress. This book is basically about a man named Mohun Biswas. They call him Mr. Biswas throughout the entirety of the book. And basically he was born with some type of physical ailment, something crazy, like 6 toes or something. And the people in his family consider that a bad omen. So literally probably anything he does is probably, he's going to be the cause of it. And he kind of carries that resentment. But this entire book is like his entire life journey into finding independence and having a place for his own where he doesn't feel like he's being pitied or being resented out of obligation. You know what I mean? And the way he goes about things in this book is kind of crazy, but he's so real for that. Honestly, I recommend this book. If you want something nice and like slow paced slice of life, well, whole life technically, I recommend this one. The next book I don't have, I loaned it to my niece, but I just have to talk about it. It was The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier. And my God, every time I tried to explain the plot to my boyfriend as I was reading the book, he was just confused and he was like, Alexis, why do you rate these things? Because they're so enjoyable. Basically, this book is about a little girl. I'm gonna call her a little girl because she's like maybe 15 or 16. This little girl named Winter she's hood rich. That's the best way to put it. She's hood rich. And she has a little boyfriend and she's out in the streets. She's sitting here doing what hood rats do and doing whatever she wants because she's a hood princess. Who cares? Until her father gets caught up in some type of drug heist gangbang situation thing. And basically, since she is basically almost independent, she's kind of left to fend for herself. And the way she goes about things literally made my brain rot, and I felt my brain cells dying every single paragraph. Things in that book are insane. It's just to be in a book, and I've heard a lot of people say that this is like one of their like gateway books into reading. And maybe if I was younger and I was like a teenager, I feel like I'll have more enjoyment in it. But as an adult in a slightly functioning, frontal lobe, I just felt like it was just ridiculous. And Winter was just that's all she was. And I just didn't appreciate the author having a self-insert character in the book. It was just kind of cringe. Next one I have is All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison, Frank Whiteley, and James Grant. This is my first Superman book. I think this is like my first comic book in my collection, and I got it years ago when I was working at Universal, and there's like a comic book shop right there. Please support it if it's still there. I haven't been to Universal in forever. Anyways, this is my first comic book that I've had in my collection, and it's been sitting collecting dust, and I finally decided to read it, and it was one of my favorites. Basically, Superman ends up going to the sun and saving all of the astronauts who are like touring the sun or something like that, and he ends up blowing everything up, and he ends up getting radiation poisoning, which is slowly killing him. The thing that gives him all of his power and all of his might is like actually doing something to him, and it's like he's the Man of Steel. He's invincible. He can't do anything. He gets powered up by a nuke like Godzilla, but no, he gets cancer in this. And basically it just goes through all of like the big characters in Superman lore, and he basically kind of has redemption with all of them, even Lex Luthor, who kind of plotted on his downfall. Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent towards James Gunn. I don't know, just a whole nother conversation. But it made me super excited to watch the movie in July. I think July. I came in to the beginning of this year saying, I'm not going to buy any books. The library exists. I have a bunch of books on my bookshelf that I still haven't read. Like, I don't need any more. Let's stop with the consumerist and actually be a reader, right? And then it hit maybe January 20th. And I was like, I just got off work and I just got paid and I'm ahead of my bills. And let me treat myself. So I got 3 books and I've read 2 of them already so far. So I'm doing good. This one's called YN by Esther Yi. As a retired K-pop fan, I really enjoyed this one. This one is about a character who basically just dips her toe into the K-pop world by going to this concert, and she automatically makes this connection to one of the members called Moon, and she ends up having this instant obsession towards him. And she's like, you know what, I'm gonna learn everything there is about him. Me and him are spiritually connected. And the way it's written, it's so pretentious, but I know some people might not enjoy that. But as someone who was on Stan Twitter for 5 years consecutively and seeing really short things, if I sit here and have a picture of Namjoon and I just say wig, the K-pop fans would understand that. But the way that they write all the K-pop fans in here are so pretentious and very dark academia-esque. I really enjoyed it. And honestly, even though every single character did not really approve of her obsession, I wish I had friends that just let me do whatever the fuck I wanted, because they just let her do whatever. They just let her do whatever. She literally was like, you know what? My chances of meeting Moon are very thin if I live in the US. Maybe. Not the US. I think she's in Europe. It's slim pickings for me to ever meet my idol in the country I'm in. So let me just move to Korea and see what happens. And everybody's okay with it. Kind of. For the most part. No one does any, real pulling her back into reality. They just let her be in Delulu land. And I love Delulu land. So this one's really good. If you are in fandom culture, I feel like, especially in the K-pop fandom culture, I feel like you'll really enjoy this one. Ooh, I really liked this one. As usual, I usually kind of fall down into a booktube rabbit hole, and I found this author that people were raving about because she writes really realistic type literature, and plus it's Brazilian, and I wanted to kind of broaden my horizon. I picked up Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector. In this one, at first, I didn't get it. It's only 70 pages. I didn't get it at first. But I reread it slowly. And it's just, it breaks the fourth wall in weird ways. It's about this author who has this weird obsession towards this just local named Macabea. And she just has a regular job. And it's just vibing. She might not have all of the assets and everything that she needs in the world, but she just exists and she's chilling with it. And this author who has this very higher than thou, my life is richer than yours, and just the way that I see things. He has this hatred and weird voyeuristic love for her, and the way he writes her is oh, this basic bitch, X, Y, and Z. And as I'm reading it, I just felt I was seeing into Clarice's mindset, and it's almost she's clocking herself as she's writing Macabea, or a version of herself that she sees in this character. But this one was really good. I highly recommend it. I don't want to tell you too much about it. It's not that much of a plot. It's more of a character study, but I really recommend this one. Now we get into when I have discovered the beauty of the library and using my iPad. And I've read a lot of books so far, but one book that I really enjoyed, I'm looking at my notes. The hike was basically about this guy who goes on a business trip, right? And during, like, as soon as he checks in, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go sit here and like sightsee and go on a hike in the forest. And as soon as he goes into this forest, everything changes. It's like very trippy. But even though I would say you can definitely tell the writer's a man, um, like just due to the way he words certain things. But if you like Dark Souls meets the Odyssey meets like Ari Aster, like Hereditary, very strange, very weird. I enjoyed it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5. Another book I read on my iPad was called Foster by Claire King. Basically, this book is about a young girl who goes away for the summer to a distant relative to help them out around the house. And she experiences the love and like all of the attention that an only child would get, while as when she's back home with her actual blood family, she is one of many siblings. And it's just basically a very heartfelt story. Even though I am the youngest out of my siblings, I still have a bunch of other nieces and nephews, and we all grew up together, so I kind of understand how it feels on both sides of the spectrum. And I really enjoyed that book. It was really nice. Next, I read The Witcher by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is my first like Witcher book. I think I've talked about it in my vlog previously. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. This is basic. If you don't know anything about The Witcher, it's basically a main character named Geralt, and in my head, all I can see is Henry Cavill with that wig on. He is a Witcher and he fights monsters, and everybody he kind of interacts with kind of already have prejudices against him because he is a monster hunter, so they think he's just this hard, cold-blooded killer when he's just like, dude, I'm just doing my job. Like, I clock in, I clock out. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, you don't like me, I get it, it's fine, but I gotta do my job. And I really respect that. He's real for that. A bunch of short stories about him and his adventures and escapades. This is the first one. Again, I got it as a gift and I like flew through it. And I really enjoyed it. I'll give it 5 out of 5. Honestly, this is my first. This is my second 5 out of 5. I would say All Sorts of Men's also a 5 out of 5. And I have 2 more books. 2 more books and then we're done. 2 more books and then you're out of here and you're free. I didn't read. I listened to Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. My God. I never cried. I was never as shaken up by a book as much as I was with that book, honestly. Truly, honestly. I'm not even being dramatic. I think it's because the narrator, his name's gonna be right here, but he deserves an Oscar. He deserves all of his flowers for that book because he was very entertaining. I think it's not just the brutality. I don't think it's the brutality of the book that kind of shook me up the most. It's the fact that, one, it's young adult books. Like, I grew up with, I think a lot of my generation, or all of my generation, grew up with the Hunger Games books and talking about, like, you know, propaganda and putting it against one another in X, Y, and Z. It's just the fact that I read the Hunger Games when I'm 15 and I kind of understood what the book was trying to tell me. And it's even stranger being 26, almost 27, seeing those same themes play out in real time as I'm reading the book. Read it. Just read it. If you don't know anything about the Hunger Games, you need to get on it. Watch the movies, read the books, just do something with it. But basically, Sunrise on the Reaping is about the 50th Quarter Quell with Haymitch and his Hunger Games. Very brutal, but had a lot of heart. The narrator was incredible. I recommend listening to it over reading it, honestly. The last book I have for you, I finished a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, and it put me in a reading slump. And it was very popular on here, and I don't understand why. I get of it, but I don't. It was just unnecessarily weird. It was Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. Basically, this book is about a girl who considers herself not to be of this world. She is from some distant planet, Kampampurin, like the fucking Sanrio character, and she kind of detaches from, you know, the very common like walk of life of, you know, graduating school, getting married, having kids. She kind of considers it like the factory, like the baby making factory, and she kind of like resents it, and she doesn't want to partake in that at all whatsoever, which is real. But the way that the author kind of puts her in like very uncomfortable situations to flat out criticize society, it's just so bad. There's one scene in that book where I had to set it down for like 2 weeks. I don't even want to talk about it. If you know what it's the scene with the pad. That's all I'm going to say. If you read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like that scene right there kind of particularly checked me out of being really into the book. But yeah, that was okay. I've read Convenience Store Woman, and I felt like that one was a lot more poignant to her point and the themes, and doesn't have to be weird for weird's sake. Like, you know, even though I like weird stuff, I feel like that was just a little too much. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I told you I was gonna be back, and I'm here, and I hope you guys like the books that I've shared with you today, and don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below if you guys read any books this season and what books you read, which ones you hated, which ones you loved, and I will get back to you guys later. But yeah, bye.